channel, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe and follow for more, as this is a great coffee community and family, and I need you all to join the family so we can grow and make more content together. So today's video, if you guys saw the thumbnail, is the best grinder of 2022 DF83. So I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you for Joe from Espresso Outlet for sending me this grinder to review for all of you. It is super new. I've been using it for about a week now, every day for about 4 to 5 shots of espresso a day. Time will tell, based on my experience of the grinder, whether I can tell you if it's the best of 2022. It's just super new to me, and I wanted to make this video because I got this in 2022. So I do have Espresso Outlet pulled up on my tablet. I'm just going to go over some of the details on this grinder, and then we're going to get into pulling shots. So if you guys are following this after it's live, you guys can fast forward and you don't have to hear all this if you already know it, and you can just see kind of the workflow that it provides. So first, I do want to say it was $8.99 and it's on sale for $6.99. There are different color options. You have white or black. The nice thing about the DF83 as opposed to the DF64 is just the simple fact that the actual color is powder coated. It's not a vinyl wrap. So I think on the DF64, if you feel it, you can change the color. I think you can buy different color options, and that's pretty much just changing the vinyl. This is powder coated, so it just gives it a nice, cleaner look. And it's just a lot easier to clean, and it just looks better on your counter space. So white or black are the two options for color. Burr options, it comes with stainless steel, or you can upgrade to an SSP espresso burrs for $325. Now, do I recommend updating the burrs? I say if you're really big into espresso, you're really big into kind of just changing the geometry of the way that the burrs cut, getting the most clarity out of your espresso. If you pull espresso all the time, yes, it's worth it. If not, just stick with, if you're new to it and this is your first ever grinder, I just say stick with the stock burrs until you figure them out, and then over time, if it's something that you want to do, then invest a little bit more into your grinder. You can have the option of buying a WDT tool, and that option is a $26 option on his website. Cup holder, it says reduces mess. You can also upgrade that for $19. Same with a anti-popcorn device, which is also $19. So like I said, coming in at $700. The grinder, if you have a DF64, you've done your research, it's definitely twice as heavy as a DF64. I mean, probably not twice as much, probably over exaggerating, but it is quite a big difference from the DF64. And there are good and bad things about this grinder that I've noticed by pulling a couple shots, and I will point those out as we do our workflow. So we're gonna go ahead and get to kind of what it's all about. So let me go ahead and change the angle for all of you. All right, so I have already pre-dosed these. I have 18 grams in them. I actually make this stand. If you guys are interested, just send me a message on Instagram or comment down below and we'll get something worked out. But I dose 18 grams. This is a single dose grinder. It comes with a bellows and a nice walnut wooden lid with a seal. It also comes with a hopper, which I will show you. So the hopper is right here. It's a really cool kind of, I mean, it's a nice hard plastic. It has a smoked appearance to it. Lid's nice. Now, the only gripe I have about this lid is when you put this on the actual unit itself, there is nothing that really holds this unit to the grinder, or at least not that I'm seeing. And when you go to pull the lid up, sometimes the lid gets stuck and it takes the whole thing out. So you have to kind of hold on to the lid or hold on to the base and then pull up, which isn't a big deal. Just kind of wish there was some way that you could mount like a rubberized screw that goes into this so it won't move, or a latch or something. But that's just nitpicking. It's $700. You get a nice bellows here, or you can also have a hopper. Just nice couple options, especially for at-home use. Just picking out anything that someone might also gripe about as well. The look of this thing is absolutely amazing. I think it looks super clean. It looks very modern. It definitely gives a nice look on your coffee bar. Definitely something to mention is how big it is, the footprint. Make sure that you check the size and measure your counter space before. I have a big bar here, so it looks a little bit smaller on the bar. However, if you are tight on space, this is a pretty big grinder. It's an 83 millimeter burr, so what do you expect when you get that? You got to get bigger burrs, bigger motor, and bigger base. So we're going to go on to, beyond the look, is the accessories. So mine came with the dosing cup and also this little top piece, which is really nice because you can either set it on top, so when you put it in there, all the static pretty much gets contained in the cup and there's less mess. Cool thing about that is you can actually flip this piece and put it on top of the portafilter to where it's almost like a funnel when you're single dosing into the actual grinder, so you're direct dosing. So that is a really nice, cool feature. Just some simple piece that just makes the grinder a lot more desirable. Now, the same, if you're familiar with the DF64, the DF83 has the same kind of rubber feet, I guess you can call them, that goes onto here to where when you put this on, it doesn't slide off whether you have the cup or the portafilter. It stays on there so it doesn't fall off while it's grinding and you have a big mess. Now, something that I have discovered with the DF64, especially when you're using it quite often, is the fact that these rubber feet will tear pretty frequently. I've gone through 3 of them already on one of my DFs, and it's just super obnoxious to have to change them out, and then eventually you have to buy replacements for them, which probably aren't expensive. But when you're buying a grinder, maybe they could have made a more permanent option as opposed to something that just slides on. Just something that bothers me a little bit, just because I like to keep everything super nice, super clean, and everything in good a condition as possible. So one thing that I have discovered about this grinder, and on my bar I have a lot of things plugged in, is the amount of amperage. I'm not sure just the right amperage that it has. If someone knows, if they could put it in the comments below, or the wattage. But when you turn this thing on, if you look at my lights, see how they flicker? I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I had to actually unplug a couple of things, and that's my fault. I have a lot of stuff plugged in. However, I did have to unplug a couple of, I had a kettle up here and I had the SD40. As you noticed, those are both gone because this was actually blowing my fuse, and it was actually making my dual boiler pull shots, and it was like going in and out, and it just wasn't good, short-circuiting the machine. Never a good thing, especially when you have 2 machines on your bar. So that's just another thing to be careful about, and to make sure you check your wattage at home and see what you have. So going off of that, the power buttons in the side, just like the just like the DF64E, which is nice, and unlike the DF64 where it's right here, super convenient by clicking it over to the side. So now, the one thing that I've noticed is the static on this grinder so far, whether I'm using a light, medium, or dark roast, has been super bad. It cakes the grinder every once in a while. It does come with this, I guess you can call it RDT spray bottle. It's just a cheap plastic bottle. It's just nice to have, I guess, if you don't have one. They actually sell glass ones, which I prefer. But you almost have to use a couple squirts every time, or you're going to get a lot of mess if you don't have this on, or even sometimes if you have that on, you're still going to notice a mess when doing it. So we're just going to go ahead and get with it, and we're going to go ahead and start pulling some shots here. So I'll just give you a close-up. So we're going to start by keeping the funnel here. So I just want to show you first off how clean everything is on the grinder. I made sure I cleaned everything before the video, so that way if we pull a shot, you can see just how much static or how much grinds kind of escape and go to the base or on your countertop. So we're just going to put this in here. We're not going to single dose. We're not going to direct dose. We'll just transfer it over. So we'll take our stuff. So the way I like to do it is I like to turn the grinder on and then feed this in. And just like that, it's done. I mean, super fast. I mean, I probably 4 seconds max. This thing doses grinds 18 grams. I mean, it's an absolute monster when it comes to single dosing. If you want a quick, fast, speedy single dose grinder, this is definitely the one for you. Super easy, nice clean look on top for the dials. It tells you exactly. I'm grinding on setting 25, and that's pretty much perfect for espresso for me. I'm using the espresso blend from Good Brothers. It was roasted December 8th, but it was in my freezer for 2 days now. So just gonna take this out, and then I'm gonna show you here. So as you can see, it's not too bad. Sprinkles here and there. And then the chute is pretty clean. That gets a little dirty down there. But overall, it's not too bad. I guess it's just a nitpick, but it does go. If you don't have the actual catch cup thing right here on top, you're going to get a lot. But I haven't packed anything down, but just see all the grinds that kind of went all over the dosing ring and the cup itself. And the bad thing is you don't want to really tap this because it becomes really clumpy when you distribute or when you transfer over to your portafilter. So what I do is I just take this top cap off. I mean, I have a knockbox here for my company that I have. And then I'll just wipe that off at the end of the night. But set that aside, and then we'll go ahead and transfer. All right. So we're going to go ahead and dry off the portafilter. And then I've absolutely loved this dosing ring. This is actually by iCape. Really nice dosing funnel. If you guys are looking for a 58 millimeter dosing funnel, this is absolutely amazing. It's made extremely well. It doesn't sit inside the portafilter at all, so when you remove it, there's no ring, which is nice because that's a big thing for channeling. It just sits right on top, and it's got that groove to where it's not going to fall off unless you tip it upside down. It's not magnetic. So we're going to go ahead and transfer this first. And then as you see, all of it's pretty much cleared out. So that's why you don't tap it, and it's pretty much nice and clean. There's really no big clumps when you do it that way. So just the kind of tips and tricks that I've learned. So we can put that on top. We'll use our WDT from JS Pro. Now you can do WT if you want. If you're not direct dosing, I definitely recommend WDT. Are you going to get perfect shots every time when using WDT? Probably not. It's not a bulletproof thing. It's just something that I like to do. I just think you get a more even extraction. But I'm also making coffee at home. Now when I have my GREAT Espresso, when I'm doing my events for my coffee company, no way I have time to do this. I direct dose with my Atom 75 and I tamp. That's it. So this is also from iCape. This is the adjustable distribution tool, which is really, really nice. Definitely worth it in my opinion. So we're just going to set that on top. It automatically levels itself out, as you can see. And then you just go ahead and distribute. And look how nice and clean this is. I mean, super clean. Really nice tool for a pretty good price. I'm not sure what the price is. I know it's not too bad. And then we're going to go ahead and tamp. Now this is the Pullman tamper. This is a little bit expensive, but I absolutely love it, and I use this for my coffee pop-up. So There we go. Nice puck preparation. And then we're just going to go ahead and lock that in there and see what we get. All right, so we're going to put the scale underneath. We'll just measure it out. Now, I did dial this in yesterday, so hopefully we're at a decent spot still. All right. I'll give you an angle of looking at that and here at the same time. Actually, we'll go underneath. Now, there might be channeling, but we'll see. So you still have a little bit of channeling. WDT is decent, but you can never guarantee the best shot. I mean, there's a lot of channeling there. But the most important thing is how it tastes. And that's the biggest thing when... So as you see, WDT doesn't always work. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I'm not going to be the one that sits here and lies to you when you can clearly see sometimes it's just not the greatest. But the coffee is a little bit old. We did still get a pretty good shot, just a lot of channeling. So you're going to get some over extractions, under extractions in certain areas. But for the most part, taste is the biggest thing. So let me just clean up all the mess that you just saw. That's why live videos are great, because I can't hide anything, and sometimes the YouTube community doesn't show you everything. So here is the look of the shot itself. Super nice crema. Really good looking body to it as well. And we're going to go ahead and give it a try. So let me go ahead and switch this camera over. And we're going to go ahead and try this one out. So this is the espresso blend from Good Brothers Coffee. Cheers. So that one's a little bit over extracted. Definitely tell that it wasn't evenly extracted either. However, for the price of this grinder, I mean, it's still way too new to tell how good it is, how it's going to hold up quality-wise. Now, the build itself is a tank. I mean, this thing is super solid, super nice. I think that with the price that you get, it's super easy to find the 0 point. I've done that already. Super easy to dial in with the burst size. Grinds super fast. The price isn't obnoxious. I mean, it grinds just as fast as my Atom 75. Grind quality, I think, is a little bit lower than my Atom 75, but I think it definitely beats the DF64. I have the Caspers and the DF64 right now, and I do think that clarity-wise is pretty good with the DF83. However, that is subjective. I did receive both of these units from Joe from Espresso Outlet, so just throwing that out there again. I do really think that the DF83, for the little bit of time that I spent with it, is worth the amount of money that it is. I think that you're not going to be disappointed by getting this grinder. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best grinder ever, the best grinder on the market, because that is subjective. That is based on your preferences. But I can only tell you based on my experiences, I do think it's a little messy. I do think that there are some things that kind of bother me about the machine, like the hopper. It doesn't stay in there. If you take the lid off, it just pops off. There's nothing to hold it. The rubber feet kind of rip and tear over time. I think that maybe there could be a better option for just the way that the portafilter sits on there, because I did have a portafilter. The same thing with the DF64. I went to go do something else while it was grinding, And like I said, it only takes about 4 seconds. My portafilter fell off. I didn't have it on there all the way. Probably my fault. But there was a mess everywhere, and it was a disaster. Yeah, I mean, for the price for single dosing, I think that you guys will be pretty pleased on what you get for the price. You saw the shot, wasn't the greatest. Sorry, no one's perfect. But I appreciate Joe for sending me this to review for you guys. I am going to be doing more testing. I will show you how to find the 0 point here soon. A big shout out to Joe once again. A big shout out to Brent. He is currently out of the roasting office, I believe, until next week, I believe. But definitely try his coffee, put it in an order. You will not be disappointed. If you have an espresso machine at home and you've already invested in a machine, invest in your coffee, because you could have the best coffee machine, the best espresso grinder out there on the market, but if you're not getting good quality and fresh beans, you're not going to get the most out of the amount of money you put into your coffee bar. So invest in coffee as you do in your machines, and you're going to be extremely happy every day. If you guys can like, share, subscribe to the channel, it really, really helps me out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So sorry for the lack of content, trying to get back into it with trying to run a business, full-time job, extra extended hours. It's been pretty difficult, but I appreciate all of you, and all of you are the reason why I've gotten into this coffee community. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and I can't ask for anything else. Truly grateful, truly blessed for all the companies that have supported me, have sent me things to review. 2022 was a up and down year for me, and I'm hoping 2023 is a lot better, and if it's going to be better as long as I can spend it with you guys, family, and hopefully there is more content and videos to come with GREAT Espresso. Stay tuned for that. I am going to be continuing my series on my Breville dual boiler, so stay tuned for that as well. Let me know down in the comments below what videos you guys want to see from me, and I will try to make that happen for all of you. So thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel. I appreciate all the love and support on my YouTube channel in 2021, 2022, and looking forward to 2023. And we almost are at 25,000 subscribers, so I cannot say thank you enough. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great New Year's. Set goals, have ambition, attack every day as it's your last, and hopefully you guys will make the most out of 2023. If you guys need anything, message me, comment down below. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you stay safe, stay caffeinated. Peace.